Hi, I'm Edie Hand, and welcome into Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles. Hope you're checking us out on rxhealthylife.com. Coming up on the show today is about a subject that's very important, diabetes. We've been to Vanderbilt University with some great new discoveries, and we've got a great recipe for you also. It's with Kathy G. and Christy Swaid. You won't want to miss this show.
Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles is brought to you in part by Healthy Eating, Active Living. Visit healalabama.org for more information.
Hello, I'm Governor Robert Bentley, and I have a challenge for you. Students across our state are teaming up to be healthy and fit. Many of you have the privilege of being part of HEAL Alabama. HEAL stands for Healthy Eating, Active Living. It empowers young people to measurably improve their health and their fitness by teaching them how to exercise and eat effectively. Let's keep Alabama's next generation healthy. Visit and support healalabama.org.
Enjoy the latest books from Edie Hand. A portion of sales benefit charities such as St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit www.ediehandfoundation.org or your local or online bookstore. Pick up your copies today. You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand.
We're here at Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt University. Joining me is Dr. Daniel Moore, who is a graduate of Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, and has a PhD in immunology. He also is a medical doctor, and we're pleased to have you to join us here today, Dr. Moore.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I know that this program that we're going to be talking about of TrialNet here at Children's Hospital is something you're very passionate about and have a personal experience. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your story and why you're so passionate about this?
Oh, sure. I think the TrialNet program is something that almost all of the people involved with our program here at Vanderbilt are very passionate about the program. And for me, it's been a very long journey arriving here to be part of this program. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 2 in 1976. So I've seen lots of the impact of research and a lot of the challenges of diabetes over the last almost 40 years now as we've gotten to this point, and certainly things have gotten better with each progressing decade. And that led me to Harvard to study biochemistry, and it led me to the University of Pennsylvania to study immunology and to become a pediatric endocrinologist to take care of children with diabetes. That was all very much informed by my own experience with diabetes. I just never really felt there was anything more important that I could do with that experience than try to get rid of type 1 diabetes and try to help the children living with diabetes while we wait on that cure together. And so the program here that really is its mission is try to understand how does type 1 diabetes develop, what are the earliest markers of type 1 diabetes, and is there anything that we can do to stave off the development of type 1 diabetes? Can we make it take another decade for you to develop diabetes? That would be great, to be a 20-something rather than a teen with diabetes. Can we get rid of diabetes permanently by understanding how the process of diabetes works? And that process begins with studying the relatives of persons already with diagnosed type 1 diabetes. So if you have type 1 diabetes yourself, your relatives, particularly your first and second degree relatives, have a greater chance of developing type 1 diabetes. So by beginning with that at-risk population, we hope we can understand the keys to what makes some of them get diabetes and what helps some of them not develop type 1 diabetes.
I think this is amazing what you're doing, and it could be a sibling that's probably the greater of the study. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think a lot of the study is with siblings with diabetes because a lot of, the first child will have been diagnosed. And I think a parent's first question is almost always, well, probably their second question. The first question is, what do I do right now for my child who may have been sick from diabetes? But their second or third question is usually, what does this mean for my other children in the family? And it does mean that those children have a greater risk of getting diabetes. It didn't change anything for them. It just means we now know that they're a family where diabetes can happen, where type 1 diabetes can happen. And because we know that about them now, that means the other children we now know are in a little bit higher risk group. And so this is an opportunity for them to address that risk head on.
What's it like in the process of this program?
So the beginning of the program is really just a blood study. So a child, say a person between the ages of 1 and 45 might be eligible. Between 1 and 20 would be eligible if they have a first-degree family members. That means like a mom, a sibling, child with diabetes. They would become eligible if they're between 20 and 45. And if they have like an aunt, a cousin, sort of like one further branch out on the family tree, a grandparent, so a second-degree relative, they would be eligible for the trial. And the trial initially is just a blood draw, and that can be done locally to them. There are over 200 places where they could get the blood study done around the country. We can mail them a box of study materials if they can't get to one of those places. So we're very happy to work with all kinds of families to help them access the program. The blood study looks at markers of diabetes, so markers that we already know, trying to also identify new markers. And if those markers are present, then we know they may be at even further risk of diabetes. And at that point, we would talk to the family or talk to the individual, depending on their age, let them understand the risk that we've identified and let them understand what opportunities there are to do something about that.
It helps to ease that fear, don't you think?
I think for some families it does. I do think families fall into a couple of categories. Some really want information, they're very much information seekers, and some don't want as much knowledge, they feel it's burdensome. But I think it's a wonderful opportunity, because if I know that you're at risk for type 1 diabetes, I can follow you a lot more closely. Even if I can't prevent or cure your diabetes today, I might be able to find out as early a stage possible that you're going to get diabetes. And if you don't figure that out early enough, people, maybe they get thirsty from their diabetes, or they start peeing a lot, or they have the classic symptoms, but eventually they get very sick from the diabetes before they get diagnosed a lot of the time. And if you have an opportunity to be diagnosed before the diabetes has made you sick at all, I think that's also a wonderful opportunity that being part of this large network provides, while generating knowledge and new opportunities.
Well, we're going to have the numbers and the website so people can get in touch around the country, as well as what you're doing here at Children's at Vanderbilt. Thank you so much, Dr. Moore, for being a part of this session with us today.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for getting the word out to all the families that might benefit.
It is our privilege, and we thank you. And we'll be right back after these messages with Sydney, and she's going to be talking with Eric Patel in more depth as the management of the TrialNet program right here at Vanderbilt. Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles is brought to you in part by Children's of Alabama, 100 years caring for children.
Hi, I'm Senna House. I am taking a minute with Children's to learn about bike safety. This is my friend Debbie Colchat, and she works in the education department at Children's, and she can tell us more about preventing bike accidents. Miss Debbie, why is it important to teach kids like me how to stay safe while riding a bike?
Well, bicycle accidents are one of the leading causes of injuries in children. Nearly 300,000 children come to the emergency room every year because of bicycle accidents. Head injuries are a major problem with the bicycle accidents, and that's why it's always important to wear a helmet.
What are some important tips to remember when riding a bike?
You want to make sure that you have a helmet that fits your head correctly. You want to make sure that the bike that you're using is the right size for you, and you also want to make sure that the bike is in good working condition.
Thanks so much for this valuable information, Miss Debbie, and thank you for joining us for A Minute with Children. I'm Senna House, and until next time, stay safe.
Hello, I'm Governor Robert Bentley, and I have a challenge for you. Students across our state are teaming up to be healthy and fit. Many of you have the privilege of being part of HEAL Alabama. HEAL stands for Healthy Eating, Active Living. It empowers young people to measurably improve their health and their fitness by teaching them how to exercise and eat effectively. Let's keep Alabama's next generation healthy. Visit and support healalabama.org.
You're watching Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles with Edie Hand.
I'm here with Eric Patel, who is the Administrative Manager at Vanderbilt TrialNet Clinic, to learn more about the people behind the research. Eric, can you tell us a little bit about the people who are a part of the TrialNet program?
Yeah, so basically we target family members of someone with type 1 diabetes. So a lot of our participants are parents or siblings, nieces, nephews, cousins, just about everyone you can think of in the family that has a blood relative with type 1.
Now, I know that beyond the TrialNet program, type 1 diabetes has affected you. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 16 years old, so I was 13 years ago now. And, I had lost about 20 pounds. I was feeling pretty sick and not well for a while. My mom thought I was just a typical teenager. but that quickly turned into something much more. So we went to my pediatrician, and they did a blood test and told me I needed to come here to Vanderbilt. So I was a kid back then. I came to the pediatric clinic, and then ever since then I've just kind of wanted to give back. In the beginning I addressed my own type 1 diabetes care needs, but now I want to make sure other kids don't have to worry about it like I have.
Well, thank you. It's really interesting information that you shared. And also thanks for making it possible for us to be talking to a lot of folks who are willing to share their story today. We're here in the examining room with JJ, and he's being treated today. So thanks for letting us talk with you. Tell us what's happening.
So when I come up to Nashville, what I have to do is I can't eat until 10. And then once it's 10, I can't eat anymore until the next day after this procedure. So when I come in, they give me the sugary drink and put the needles in, and they test my blood. And then once the blood checking's done, then I get to eat and everything.
That's good. And I know that you don't have type 1 diabetes, but you are participating in the program. So
Yes.
How is it affecting you?
It really doesn't affect me at all. I just have to take pills once a day, every day. And other than that, I miss school once out of every 6 months, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I understand your dad's here today, and Edie got a chance to talk with him.
Hi, and welcome back in. We are talking with JJ's father now. Thank you so much for being here, Jim.
Oh, you're welcome.
This is a great program with TrialNet of what Children's Hospital of Vanderbilt and hospitals around the country that are a part of this are doing to make a difference. How has this made a difference for you and your family?
Well, at first it was a difficult decision. But really what happened is I sat down with JJ, and as a family we talked, and 12 years ago there was some child who was working on the same type of trial with designer insulins. And prior to my son Alec, who was diagnosed 6 years ago, these kids were having to mix insulins. And 10, 11 years ago there was a beta test for a designer insulin. When my son was diagnosed 6 years ago, he had the benefit of that designer insulin. And so when we sat as a family, it came up that, look, it may not impact our family today, but if there's something that we can do to impact somebody 5, 10 years down the road, it was kind of pay it forward, and it was our time to pay back what happened with Alec.
I think that's awesome, and to me what we've learned today about research and families like yours that make a difference for the next families is we can't get any better than that, I don't think, with something of type 1 diabetes.
Thank you. Yeah, type 1 diabetes is a 24/7 balancing act. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. One day there will be a cure. Whether or not that's in my lifetime, it certainly will be in my son's lifetime. But it's just patience and eventually getting through to the finishing line.
And what would you say to a parent or a relative out there and how to help to encourage them a little bit?
Just know that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and that tomorrow will be better than today, and the next day will be better than tomorrow.
Thank you so much for
You're
this
welcome.
insight. And thank you. We'll be back after these messages.
Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles is brought to you in part by Culture City for special needs children and their families. culturecity.org.
Hello, I'm Governor Robert Bentley, and I have a challenge for you. Students across our state are teaming up to be healthy and fit. Many of you have the privilege of being part of HEAL Alabama. HEAL stands for Healthy Eating, Active Living. It empowers young people to measurably improve their health and their fitness by teaching them how to exercise and eat effectively. Let's keep Alabama's next generation healthy. Visit and support healalabama.org.
Enjoy the layest books from Edie Hand, a portion of sales benefit charities such as St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit www.ediehandfoundation.org or your local or online bookstore. Pick up your copies today. A Pocket Guide for the Alzheimer's Caregiver by Dr. Daniel Potts and his wife Ellen helps you understand this disease and get the best care possible. Go to alzpocketguide.com or any online bookstore for your copy.
Hi, I'm Edie Hand.
I'm Paula Lombard.
And Paula, thank you for being here today. We've got Pave the Way to make a difference with your pink wipers to wipe out breast cancer. And how can we do that?
Go to our website, autotexpink.com.
Make a difference and pave the way.
Here's a prescription for a better life with Dr. Swaid.
We know that children today are getting less active physically and therefore more obese. Probably a third of all children and adolescents in this country now are overweight. And this results in many medical problems. At least 70% of those children who are obese have one risk factor to develop cardiovascular disease. These children are more prone to get high blood pressure, high cholesterol, to become diabetic, and to develop poor self-esteem and sometimes depression. And all of those things result from inactivity and poor nutrition. HEAL has come in and tried to reverse that trend, and they have been successful in taking 70% of these children and teaching them how to improve their dietary and exercise regimen, and they have become much more cardiovascularly fit in order to prevent these diseases.
Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles is brought to you in part by the Edie Hand Foundation, www.ediehandfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Senna House, and I'm taking a minute with Children's to learn a few things about sunscreen safety. This is my friend Tracy Duncan, and she's a nurse practitioner with the dermatology clinic here at Children's. Tracy, why is sunscreen so important?
Sunscreen is important because it provides protection against damaging UV rays. We can't completely avoid the sun, so by applying a daily broad spectrum sunscreen that contains UVA and UVB protection, we decrease our risks of skin cancer such as melanoma. Melanoma is a very dangerous form of skin cancer. More deaths occur from melanoma than any other skin disease.
How often should sunscreen be applied?
It should be applied every 2 hours, more often if the skin is wet from swimming or perspiration. A general rule of thumb is a tablespoon is enough product to cover exposed skin.
What are the risks of not using sunscreen?
Again, skin cancer. Melanoma would be the most dangerous form.
Thanks so much for being here with us today, Tracy. I'm Senna House, and we'll see you next time on A Minute with Children. Till then, make sure you're wearing that sunscreen.
Hello, I'm Governor Robert Bentley, and I have a challenge for you. Students across our state are teaming up to be healthy and fit. Many of you have the privilege of being part of HEAL Alabama. HEAL stands for Healthy Eating, Active Living. It empowers young people to measurably improve their health and their fitness by teaching them how to exercise and eat effectively. Let's keep Alabama's next generation healthy. Visit and support healalabama.org.
Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles wants to help you pave the way to a better life.
And welcome back into Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles. We've been talking about special needs, like with diabetes. And Kathy G, I know you know all about that, and Christy Swaid, and we have our official taste tester today with us. We have Miss Sydney over there. So, you know, let's talk about something that can make a difference for us, like with turkey. You've got some great recipes. I know you being a caterer, and what's your website too, so people right out there
can
look at it?
It's kathyg.com, KATHYG.com.
And I'm going to have this recipe up on rxhealthylife.com too. So I noticed you've got some turkey balls here.
Yes, you know, there are different dietary needs, and we're watching our cholesterol and our fats and for diabetics. So we're working with turkey a lot, and lean ground turkey. And it has a lot less fat than ground beef. And you can do the same recipes because we have turkey meatballs here. You can have an easy recipe with buying a jar of prepared marinara and using either a veggie pasta or multi-grain pasta. This is wonderful. It sneaks some veggies in.
You say your kids like that too, don't you?
Yeah,
yes,
that's great.
Do.
You ever tried that, Sydney?
No, I have not.
Okay, now you gotta tell your mom about it.
Yeah.
I do, yes.
And it's a great way to sneak in the turkey meatballs and have a full meal, or just have the meatballs themselves. Another thing is turkey tacos, which you just saute ground turkey with onion and add your taco seasoning. Just get the package, is fine. And there are multi-grain taco shells now, which are really so much better for you. Put your lettuce, salsa, condiments, and there you go.
That's great. Now we're going to do a turkey chili.
Turkey chili with black beans.
Okay, come on over. Here we go. Now, you've got all the ingredients here. So what do we start with first, Kathy?
We start with a little olive oil, and we always like to use that in the pan.
Okay.
Thank you, Christy.
All right, I'll let you guys mix it up here.
And we're going to add
test
some
that,
some
I might try
diced
it, too.
onion. I'll let Christy
Oh,
stir.
Christy, you the
Christy's going to
official-
stir, and I will tell her what. There you go.
Tell her what to do.
There
You
we
stir.
go. There
And I'll
you go.
watch.
Yes. And we're going to take a little sautéed onions, and you can have these pre-cut in your fridge, and a little bit of diced red pepper.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now that is finely diced. Did you do that with your hand?
Yes.
Wow.
But you can
Now,
use,
you have
if
a
you have a
fancy
food
little-
processor,
yeah.
you can do that.
See, amateurs
I have some
like
fancy
me.
helpers in my kitchen.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
do, and
Yeah.
you have all kinds of gadgets.
So we want to saute our ground turkey also. After that softens, it becomes translucent. Then you're going to stir your turkey up and let it brown. And when it really gets nice and brown and cooked, as we love in chili, we want to have a little chopped tomatoes. So we'll add that. Just keep stirring.
Smells good already.
It's smell-o-vision.
Yeah, nothing like cooking. And for convenience, if you don't have time, you can always use a package of chili mix, just spice it.
Which do you prefer?
Otherwise, you
The
can
French?
just get your chili, or there's a Tex-Mex, and there's a little brown bag of chili seasonings, and that's always just handy. So you don't have to have all those ingredients too.
It's a time saver. That's what I need. I need time savers
And we're going to make this
ease.
even healthier. We're going to put some diced carrots in.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that.
And
That's
people
good.
won't even notice, and it's so good for you with vitamin A and for your
That
eyes.
works in your heal program, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Christy?
you know, we encourage children to have 5 fruits and vegetables every day, and so this, you know, helps us with our portions.
I loved it that your Christina said she'd sneak things in for her kids.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
We
And
mothers
so-
have to be clever with that.
I know. I always told my kids you have to have all the colors. So now we have a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, and that's another part of our element is rainbow of colors. So if you get a variety of colors, you know you're getting a variety of nutrients.
Wonderful.
That's
we can
good.
even add a little chopped parsley then. There
That's
we go.
So if you're doing that,
Look
so
at
did
that
you do that
color.
with your mother before?
Isn't that
Beautiful.
Yes. And a little salt. And if you have to go salt-free, that's fine too, because there's enough seasoning in these chili packs. I would suggest tasting it first before I would add any salt.
So here you have
when you
Speaking
got
of tasting.
Okay, all right. Now I want to show this finished product here of what it looks like. Let's go over here, see what it looks like, and we're going to get our little taste tester going on. All right. Okay.
We've added black beans to
You add
that
black
chili,
beans.
and that was, well, you can use pinto.
Okay.
Mm.
We got a
Have
spoon
this
over there. We
one.
might dig in too, but let's
I
see
think
what she.
everybody. Thank you.
Okay, turn it. There you go.
drum roll.
Okay, we're gonna get you turned over here too.
Turkey works.
This is really good.
I was a little nervous about
Well,
the turkey.
Kathy G, thank you so much,
Oh,
and you
it's
do
my
such a great
pleasure.
job in catering and
Yes.
and event planning. You make everything look beautiful and easy.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
and bon appetit.
Yes.
And Christy, thank you for having us in your home, your beautiful home, and bringing us into your world of Heal, Alabama. And we hope that you'll join us next week, right here on Prescription for Healthy Lifestyles.